Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, and today I just want to share with you all some of the books that I have recently acquired. I do plan on making an order from Book Outlet in the next few weeks, and I was thinking maybe I should just wait to film this haul until I get those books, but I'm still kind of on the fence on whether or not I want to make this purchase, just because I am really trying to decrease my physical TBR, and I have not been doing a very good job of that this year, but I found some really great books on Book Outlet, so I'll probably end up just getting those books as well, which you will then see in another book haul video. But for now, I just have 9 books. It is a smaller haul. I also just wanted to get a video filmed, and I thought, why not do a book haul? It's been a really interesting month so far. I have barely read, and it's just been very overwhelming. I did start a new job, so life has just gotten a lot busier. I don't really have as much motivation to film, but I did want to share these books with you as I am very excited about them. So without further ado, let's just go through these books, and a few of them are actually nonfiction, which I surprised myself, honestly, because I'm not the biggest nonfiction person, but I found them at an antique shop and was very excited, and I have a very strong interest in the subject matter, so it'll make sense once we go through them. The first one here is Ackermans Costume Plates, Women's Fashion in England from 1818 to 1828. You can just see that cover. So this is just kind of like, it's really short. It's kind of like a summary, I guess, of just the different kind of dresses women would wear. And it's kind of hard to show, but basically what different styles of dresses were meant for and for what events they would have been worn, and like the time of day, if it was an evening dress, a morning dress, a walking dress. There's some with color as well. So I just think this is really neat, and definitely something that I'm going to be looking through and reading through, and probably spend more time looking through when it's Jane Austen July next summer. It's definitely not the most detailed book, but it is a nice summary of fashion from 1818 to 1828. So I'm very excited about this book, and was very excited when I saw this at the antique shop. So very happy about it. I also ended up finding this Memoir of Jane Austen and Other Family Recollections by J.E. Austen Lee, and he was the nephew of Jane Austen. So his name was James Edward Austen Lee. And it looks like this was published in 1870, and it's just kind of a family written, and it's just kind of a memoir written from the perspective of family members, which I find very interesting. I have heard that this is quite biased and paints Jane Austen in a very specific light, which if it's written by a family member, I would imagine that's kind of a given, but I am still very excited to read this, and I think this will be a great nonfiction pick for Jane Austen July if I don't get to it sooner. So it looks like it's James' memoirs, but also 2 shorter memoirs written by his sisters, Anna Lefroy and Caroline Austen. And so it says, this edition brings together for the first time these 3 memoirs, and also includes Jane's brother Henry Austen's biographical notice of 1818 and his lesser-known memoir of 1833, making the collection a unique biographical record. So very excited about this, and I think this would be a really good one for Jane Austen July, so excited about it. This next one I also found at that antique shop, and I had first heard about it, I think I saw it on Amazon at some point, but it was so pricey, and it's also massive, and I did not realize how big it is until I saw it in person, but it was like a quarter of the Amazon price at the shop, so I had to snatch it when I saw it, and that is Beatrix Potter, A Life in Nature by Linda Lear, and this is a brick. It is so big, very heavy, and yeah, it's just, oh, I was so excited when I saw this. I love Beatrix Potter, I love Peter Rabbit, I love all things the world of Peter Rabbit. And this is basically just a biography about Beatrix Potter and her life. I've just heard really great things about this biography. I've heard that it's one of the best out there on Beatrix Potter and her life, so I'm very excited about it. And so it says, Beatrix Potter, the 20th century's most beloved children's writer and illustrator, created books that will forever conjure nature for millions. Yet though she is a household name around the world, her personal life and her other significant achievements remain largely unknown. This remarkable new biography is an exploration of the life and times of an extraordinary woman. Potter's was, Linda Lear reveals, a life inspired and enriched by nature. Even as a child and a young woman growing up in a wealthy, conventional London family, her imagination and artistic talent were fed by visits to the countryside. And then the summary just goes on and on. It's really long. Very, very excited. I am just ecstatic about this book. And even though I'm not the biggest nonfiction person, because it's about someone that I very much admire and find very interesting and fascinating and want to know more about, I think it's going to be a really great one. So very excited. And then this last nonfiction, I saw someone on Goodreads, one of my Goodreads friends, read it. And when I saw it, it captured my interest, especially because Victober is just around the corner. And I thought this would be a great nonfiction for Victober. It's not too long. And it has a lot of illustrations, and I just think it's going to be something that I very much enjoy dipping in and out of, and I'll probably start this in September rather than just trying to read it all in October. It'll be a good one to dip in and out of, like I was saying. So that is Victoria and Albert, A Family Life at Osborne House by Her Royal Highness the Duchess of York with Benita Stoney. So the Duchess of York, this is Sarah Ferguson, who was married to Prince Andrew. So she kind of put this together, and I cannot wait to read this. The friend that I have on Goodreads, I feel have very similar tastes when it comes to classics and just all things Victorian books and the Victorian era. We kind of have a shared interest. So when I saw that she was reading this and she very much enjoyed it, I had to have it, and I found it on Thrift Books, and I'm so excited about it. I already kind of perused a little bit, and I am very interested in Queen Victoria's life, and especially her role as a mother. Beyond that, as a queen, I just find that I want to know more. So very excited. And like I said, I've heard nothing but praise for this. Looks like someone left their probably used $100 wine voucher in this book. So that's funny. So it's kind of like in chapters. Chapter 1 is the first year of their marriage. So just about Queen Victoria and Prince Albert's marriage. I'm just going to remove the dust jacket. It has some beautiful paintings as well. And this I know is a picture. It's not a painting. It is an actual picture taken of Victoria and Albert when they were married. And I'm not sure if it's a daguerreotype or what kind it is. I'm not familiar with a lot of the older types of cameras, but I just love seeing pictures like that. And then Victoria with some of her kids when they were young. So yeah, I'm just very excited about this book, and I think it'll be a great Victober read as well. Speaking of Victorian books and Victorian literature in general, I also found Wives and Daughters at that antique shop, and I was so excited about this book because I've been trying to find it at a used bookstore in my area. I really prefer getting classics secondhand, and this one I just have never seen anywhere. I find North and South everywhere, but I've never found Wives and Daughters at any used bookstore in my area, at any thrift store. I don't know why, I just never found it until I went to that antique shop. I am not going to read the summary. I don't like to know too much going into classics, but with how much I love North and South, I know I will enjoy this book. I just know. I'm not sure if I'll get to it in Victober. I might try to, but I've kind of finalized my Victober TBR and tried to keep the books that I'm reading on the shorter side, just so I don't feel too constrained, especially because I am a mood reader, but we'll see. Maybe I will feel that I need to read this book. Who knows? But I'm very excited. So happy I found this, and I know it's going to be a great book. I know I'm going to love it. I can't wait to read it. And this next book I ordered from Thrift Books right after all the Victober announcements came out, because one of the prompts, and I forget exactly what it was, but one of the prompts had a list of recommendations for that prompt, and I struggled to find a book for that prompt that I own. So I decided to get this one, and it is also on the shorter side, and I've heard really great things. So that is The Other Women by George Gissing. I know nothing about George Gissing as an author. I have no idea what other books he's written. I believe Katie from Books and Things has read this, and I'm not sure about Kate Howe, but I know a few other booktubers have mentioned this book and that it was a good one. So fingers crossed that I enjoy it. I'm not going to read the actual summary for the book, but it does say The Odd Women is a dramatic exploration of the dilemmas facing the single woman at the turn of the century. Set in grimy, fog-ridden London, the novel paints a vivid portrait of the hardships and inequalities in and outside of marriage, and of a society whose values are in flux. It sounds interesting. Not something I generally gravitate towards in terms of the themes, but I have high hopes and we'll see what I think. This next book is one that is going to be read very, very soon, if not in September, 100% in October. But honestly, just looking at it right now, I want to pick it up right now and start it. So I may just do that. And that is Man of Shadow and Mist by Michelle Griepe. This is the second book in a duology. Although the books are not actually tied from what I know, like you don't need to read the first book to read this one, that sort of thing. But this one is all Dracula vibes from what I've heard. The first one kind of paid homage to Frankenstein in a way. It was by no means a retelling or anything like that, but it definitely had those vibes, and I really enjoyed it for that reason. And this one has all the Dracula vibes. So it says, England 1890. Vampires are alive and well in North Yorkshire, leastwise in the minds of the uneducated. Librarian Rosa Edwards intends to drive a stake through the heart of such superstitions. But gossip flies when the mysterious Sir James Morgan returns from Transylvania to take up residence in his shadowy manor. The townsfolk say he is cursed. James hates everything about England, the weather, the rumors, the scorn. Yet he must stay. His mother is dying of a disease for which he's desperately trying to find a cure, an illness that will eventually take his own life. When Rosa sets out to prove the dark gossip surrounding James is wrong, she discovers more questions than answers. How can she accept what she can't explain, especially the powerful allure of the enigmatic man? James must battle a town steeped in fear, as well as the unsettling attraction he feels for the no-nonsense librarian. Can love prevail in a town filled with judgment and suspicion? I want to read this right now. I might just start it. This next book I've wanted to get for such a long time. It is just all the coziness. When I look at the cover, it is just my kind of aesthetic. I just need to read it very, very soon, hopefully. And that is Shady Hollow by Juno Black. And this is the first book in the Shady Hollow mystery series. And it is all about woodland animals who talk and have their own community and solve mysteries. And it just sounds precious. And so it says, the first book in the Shady Hollow series, in which we are introduced to the village of Shady Hollow, a place where woodland creatures live together in harmony until a curmudgeonly toad turns up dead and the local reporter has to solve the case. Reporter Vera Vixen has a nose for news, so when she catches wind that the death might be a murder, she resolves to get to the bottom of the case, no matter where it leads. As the fox stirs up still waters, she exposes more than one mystery and discovers that additional lives are in jeopardy. Vera's investigations unearth more about this town than anyone ever suspected. It seems someone in the Hollow will do anything to keep her from solving the murder, and soon it will take all of Vera's cunning and quickness to crack the case. I am here for all the cozy, whimsical, atmospheric vibes, if you will, and the woodland aspect of the story. It just sounds perfect. I am so excited about it. And then last but not least, we have a book that is biblical fiction, and it is written by one of my favorite authors, and I was extremely excited for its release, and it finally came out in August, and that is Voice of the Ancient by Connie Lynn Cassette. This is the first book in her new series, The King's Men, and I'm so excited about this. I see that it is dog-eared, which means my mom has officially started it because she likes to read biblical fiction as well, so very, very excited about this book, and she evidently was as well. And so this one says, as the eldest son of a Levite and a Philistine, Avidan is torn between his duty to his family legacy and the desire for something more. After an enemy attack strikes close to home, he takes the opportunity to fight with his cousins for the newly crowned King Saul. But when one of the cousins goes missing during the battle, Avidan refuses to leave him behind. Is it Keziah or Keziah? I never know how to say that name. I think it's Keziah. Keziah is the daughter of one of the most powerful clan chiefs in the territory of Manasseh. On the brink of a forced marriage to a loathsome man decades older than her, she has no choice but to run, hoping to find sanctuary with her mother's family. United during their journeys and battling to survive the dangers that surround them, Avidan and Keziah make a pact to travel together. As challenges pile up, they must not only rely on each other to stay alive, but also learn to trust the true and eternal King of Israel to guide their every step. I cannot wait to read this. So excited. And those are the 9 books that I have purchased in the last couple of months. Bit of a shorter book haul, but another one will be coming sooner rather than later because Book Outlet it's calling to me, and my cart is on my computer right beside me, and I really, really want to click place order because the books are just such great prices, you know? But anyways, if any of these books are books that you have read, I would love to know what your thoughts were about them. And that is it for this video. Thank you all so, so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.